planet Earth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. TeenStar, online and international.
We've seen hundreds of talented singers perform in weeks of competition, and we're now down to the final 40. Welcome to the two-part semi-final of TeenStar. But first, we need to meet the judges. BBC One TV presenter, vocal coach, and session singer, Carrie Grant. A&R for Sony, Thames TV, and Future Music, Grayston. A&R at Polydor Records Universal, Haynes. And vocal coach and owner of Vocal Ovation, Julie Miles. So there you have it, our judges. Now, before we get to the acts, let's find out what the judges are looking for in these two semifinals. Chris, let's start with you.
Well, as always, this is the kind of favourite part of the competition for me, when we normally go all around the country and everyone's had a good few goes at it. They know what it's all about. They've hopefully listened to the feedback. So I'm really hoping that we're really seeing the bar just go way up now. And hopefully everyone's listened. It's all about improving as artists. So that's what I'm looking for, good improvement, and them to really earn their place in the grand final.
So here we are, semi-finals. Yeah, it's a bit like nurturing children from birth to almost adulthood. I'm really looking to see that the effort has been put in. We've been given tons of feedback, so this is quite a serious stage now because they're one step away from the final. So I would like to see that feedback has been listened to, in terms of song choice, delivery, but really importantly, the framing now. We've given tons of feedback about framing of videos, so I really hope that we're not nitpicking at that. But we just need to see that they're deserving to be in the final. But I have to say, huge well done to have got where you are now, because this is teenagers and under. So well done.
Yeah, like the other judges have said, just definitely want to see a lot of big improvements from everyone. Definitely want to see a lot of passion and some self-belief as well, and just a bit of courage, of conviction in all of the artists basically, and generally just best of luck to everyone.
Well, I think we can safely say that every single person that is going to perform for us is going to be a really good singer. But at this point, we're looking for artists, and artists emerge at any point in your childhood. For some people, it's like they're 7 years old and there's an artist. Sometimes you could be 30, 40 years old even. But at some point, hopefully, some of these guys have developed into artists. And particularly I, am looking for that artistic identity. It's about so much more than the voice.
Well, it's time to begin with our first act. They are CDME. Cameron, Dylan, Mason, and Ethan are all huge Foo Fighter fans, and if they could collaborate with anyone, it would be David Grohl. Please welcome our first act of the night, CDME. Our next performer comes from a musical family and lives in an area in Ireland where traditional Irish music is a big part of her community. Please welcome Neem.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in, you kicking me out. I've got
Megan began singing at the age of 3 and started writing her own songs at the age of 11. Please welcome Megan Wright.
Get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired, man, I'm just tired and bored with myself. Hey there baby, I could use just a little help. You can't start a fire, you can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire, even if we're just dancing in the dark. Messages keep getting clearer, radio's on and I'm moving around my place. I check my look in the mirror, wanna change my clothes, my hair, my face. Man, I ain't getting nowhere, I'm just living in a dump like this. There's something happening somewhere. Baby, I just know that there is. You can't start a fire.
Our last performer's favorite artists are Alicia Keys and Amy Winehouse, and she started singing when she was 5. Please welcome Naya.
Candy, she's sweet like candy in my veins. Baby, I'm dying for another taste. And every night my mind is running around her. I'm just getting louder and louder. Baby, you're like lightning in a bottle. I can't let you go now that I got it. All I need is to be struck by your electric love. Baby, your electric love. Electric love. Drowning, you make my heart beat like the rain. Surround me, hold me deep beneath your wings. And every night my mind is running around her.
Our first 4 contestants of the TeenStar semi-finals. Well done to all of those singers. Julie, let's start with you. What did you think of our acts?
So what a great start. And again, we've started with some really good song choices, and we started with creativity, because there was a couple of song choices there that were really kind of pulled apart a little bit, and definitely there was individuality put on them. I have to mention though, I know we've got some priority acts, but to start off, the big smile that came to my face from the boys, CDME. It looks like the adoption's not going to take place after all. The parents do want to keep them, but it wasn't perfect. It was not note perfect. They're not as tight as they will be when they keep practicing, but they just bring a smile to my face. And it's clear who the front guy is, and I can't wait for his voice to develop, because what a character he was. Really drew us in without being too distracting to the rest of them. But I just think, I know Carrie has 4 children. How difficult that must be to actually pull them together, to actually rehearse like that. So even though they're kind of imperfectly perfect, I think they've done a pretty good job considering the challenges that their father probably has with them. And I just think, fathers, lock up your daughters in a few years, because they are going to be on the rampage. They've literally stolen my heart, so I love them. And actually, you know, I'm going to let somebody else talk about some of the others, but I think that was a really strong start.
Oh yeah, the bar's been definitely set high. Really good to see. Yeah, the boys, as Julie said, have been entertaining us throughout. For me, you know, Neve, I think she's brilliant. I think what was really good about Neve is she listened to the feedback and she'd really given us some extra eye contact, which we picked up on in previous rounds. And she really just tried to give a bit more dynamic performance. So well done that, Neve. You know, it's going to be a hard job tonight. We've got to bear in mind everybody in this age category is 12 and under. So, you know, just whatever happens tonight, just enjoy it and hopefully, you know, just take the feedback on board.
I can't actually believe that you're all 12 and under. I'm sure you're all like 40 years old and trapped in those little bodies. But you are amazing, and the creativity that you've expressed has been great. What an amazing start to the show, where you just go, wow, where's this going to go? They were really good. I think that we look at this stage for the voice, the song, the delivery, the performance, the look, and also the setting, where you've put yourself. All of those things need to be giving us the same message. So you will know immediately from that criteria who actually ticked all those boxes and who didn't. And if you're not ticking those boxes, those are the areas you need to look at. Those are the areas that you're going to need to work on.
Agree with everyone else. You know, really good start from the guys. CDME always improving with every time I've seen them perform, doing a really good job. I really like, you know, the thought going into the styling, the setup, and the framing of the video, you know, and just the instrumentation at such a young age as well is really good. The only flaws I could possibly highlight really is just I'd like to hear a bit more progression in their vocal delivery, just a bit more kind of, you know, synchronicity and a bit more smooth delivery to it. You know, whilst you guys are young, you know, I wouldn't want that to be a kind of a hurdle to you actually, you know, exceeding the bar. You know, that's the difference between, I guess, you know, the average talent and actually a star who you can actually see out in the marketplace. But really good work from you. And I think the other act who stood out for me in that segment was Neem as well. Whilst I couldn't really personally see what the route to market would be for her as a harpist, you know, I really liked her look, and, you know, her sound. She's got a great voice and there's something interesting about her, but great start from everyone else. Yeah, and, you know, Megan, like, it was really good. I could see that there was a vast improvement from your previous performances. You know, what you did with the framing and your styling. Image is an important thing if you're looking to have a career as an artist further down the line. Only thing I would suggest is maybe try to find something a bit more unique. I didn't feel like there was something that actually, you know, jumped out at me in relation to your voice. You know, try to find maybe a more unique way of delivery. And Naya, again, I liked what you did in terms of your framing. You kept it simple and minimalist. The only thing I feel like you just try to find a bit more energy there. There was a lack of oomph, you know, in your actual performance, and I'm not sure if that was maybe just a little lack of confidence or self-belief, but that's something for you to just work on further down the line.
If our next performer could open for any singer, it would be her favorite singer, Demi Lovato. This is Molly Anstey.
Everybody needs inspiration. Everybody needs a song, a beautiful melody for when the nights are long. 'Cause there is no guarantee that this life is easy. Yeah, when my world's falling apart, when there's no light to break up the dark, that's when I look at you. When the waves are flooding the shore and I can't.
The youngest singer left in TeenStar would love to work with Adele someday and believes they would have a powerhouse performance together. Please welcome Emmy Davis.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it.
In 2018, Rosie came fourth in the TeenStar preteen category and third in the 16 and under category for Open Mic UK. Please welcome Rosie Hollins.
Look at me, you may think you see who I really am, but you never know me. Every day, it's as if I play a part. Now I see, if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I cannot fool my heart. Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? When will my reflection show who I am inside? I am now in a world where I have to hide my heart.
Another child prodigy who started singing at the age of 4. This is Marcel.
Share my life, take me for what I am, 'cause I'll never change all my colors for you. Take my love, I never ask for too much, just all that you are and everything that you do. I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go where you won't follow. I won't hold it back again. There's passion inside. I can't run from myself. There's nowhere to hide. Well, don't make me close my door.
When this next singer was just a baby, her mom used to watch music videos while looking after her, so her interest in music started at a very young age. This is April Rose.
We are searchlights we can see in the dark. We are rockets pointed up to the stars. We are billions of beautiful hearts. And then you sold us down the river too far. What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? What about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? What about love?
Well, this is truly the semifinals. Another amazing set of acts. Let's see what the judges thought, starting with Chris.
What's really evident is people's framings. Yes, we've been saying it the whole time. And love, all these flowers. Wow, that's really good. A few there really stood out, but I think as an overview, I think they've all kind of brought their A game in the most part, which is really cool and really good to see some of the feedback being taken on board. For me, Rosie Hollins keeps impressing me. I think she's got such control, and I think this time in particular, she got a background right, and she really hit those notes hard, which was good. And just the sort of comment about Marcel, I thought that was the best we'd seen him as well. Just would have liked to see him commit a bit more to the chorus and really climb into that. But other than that, I can see him going really far in the music industry.
I think that these performances are really interesting tonight. I think that crafting a performance means it's going to need gear changes. Some of these performances feel like they're just all in one gear and I'm waiting for a big money moment, and others of them feel like they start in gear 6 and I'm begging you to just take it down a little bit just to give us some light and shade. So I think when we're thinking about performances, we've got to think of it in terms of crafting. So you'll get a great singer like Imi, who's clearly got a really strong voice, using all the whistle tone stuff, but actually try and work out what is serve the song. The best way that a singer can deliver a song is to serve the song. What does this song demand? Rather than it just being about, wow, here's another thing I can do, here's another trick, here's another thing. But actually, what does it even mean? It's about crafting that song and using that incredible palette that you have to sell that song.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that, to be honest. I guess a lot of that as well just comes with time, development, and also, you know, a lot of the artists performing, watch back your performances, listen back to the feedback, you know, do some kind of dry runs, re-record things, critique yourself and find areas where you need to improve, and also other stronger areas, and just, you know, own those, accentuate those a bit more, but don't be afraid to experiment or try things, because, you know, you can never get anything wrong. You either do it right or you learn for the next time going ahead. I guess with Molly and Steve, you know, I felt like you had great scenery, good image, but again, you just needed to maybe find your sound. I felt like I was struggling to kind of hear or see who you were as an artist, to be honest, but, you know, I can see you've had some thought going into the performance element of it. And likewise with Imi Davis, you know, like, you always impressed me. You got great energy, you know, I can see you're a real performer. I just think you're very young, you've got the whole world at your feet, so just take this time to just actually find your sound and translate that energy into your own style, and I feel like you can see some big things from you further down. And again, just agreeing with, you know, Chris, with Rosie and Marcel, you know, great performances from those, very impressed. And April, again, seeing your improvements in your scenery as well, but again, just try to work a bit more on the actual delivery of the vocal performance.
Well, what a collection of really strong singers doing, again, really different song choices, which I was really appreciating. I kind of feel that there's so many good bits about each of them. It would be lovely to just kind of blend them, some of them together. Ones that really stood out for me, I'm going to agree, Rosie always seems to deliver with just a lovely demeanour and real control. Marcel, definitely his best performance. He actually reminded me of a young Michael Jackson. Beautiful tone. Delivery was just, it needed a little bit more punctuation, and some of the notes did get away from him very slightly. Imi, I just want to rein her in, because she's got some amazing talent coming out, but I think she's just kind of trying to do it all at once. So just a little bit of reining in there. And Molly, absolutely beautiful tone. The song, I'm not sure that it quite worked. That is such an uplifting song by Miley Cyrus, and it kind of, that melancholy feel maybe didn't sell her enough for me. But with the youngest, the youngest at 7 and 10 years old, that, you know, I almost feel bad giving feedback, but please remember, this feedback is to make you into superstars later on. So another strong set of singers.
We have just one set of singers left in the 12 and under category, starting off with a singer who joined her choir at the age of 9. This is Polly Ann.
I found a guy who told me I was a star. He held the door, held my hand in the dark. And he's perfect on paper, but he's lying to my face. Does he think that I'm the kind of girl who needs to be saved? And this is why my boy, he's from my past. We've had enough, but it didn't last. 'Cause the second I figure it out, it pushes me away. And I won't fight for love if you won't meet me halfway. And I say that I'm through, but this song's still for you. All I want is nothing less. All I want, too much to ask.
Anissa made it to the TeenStar Grand Final at the O2 last competition and is hoping to make it to the final once again. This is Anissa Murad.
You have smile of a snake, but it's more like a stare or a fatal death glare. With you everything changes. One moment it's your angel face, and next it's another case. Trick me once then, trick me twice, but the third time I didn't see it coming. Trick me once then, trick me twice, but the third time I didn't see it coming. 'Cause this is a dangerous game. But if I wanna win, I gotta play. My fate is in your hands, and it was so typical of you. I should have seen it coming, but I was blinded and fooled. You'll twist until you destroy what you wish was yours. Turns out you're an amateur. I saw you loading your machine gun, but I didn't think it'd be pointing right down at me. Trick me.
Our next performer started singing at the age of 2, and she's performing from Disney's Mulan, Reflection. This is Kira.
Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day it's as if I play a part. Now I see, if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I cannot fool my heart. Who is that girl I see, staring straight back at me? When will my reflection show who I am inside? I am now in a world where I have to hide my heart.
Our final performer in the 12 and under is singing Who's Loving You by the Jackson 5. This is Margaret.
When I had you, I treated you bad, and all my dear and good sins, since you've been away. Don't you know I sit around with my head hanging down, and I wonder who's loving you. Should have never, ever made you cry.
My goodness, that concludes our 12 and unders for the semi-finals. If I could sing half as good as these kids when I was 12, oh my goodness. Carrie, what did you think of our final set of 12 and unders?
Oh my gosh. What can I even say? There were some amazing performances in that category, and I want to talk about all of them, but I have to talk about Margaret. My goodness, I loved it, not just because you have the voice of a genuine soul singer and you sound like you're years older than you are. You sound like you're decades older than you are. But actually the fact that you put your settings on vintage, the lighting, the feel of it, and all, you know, everyone should just look at that. That's just a plain old wallpaper, plain old hair, vintage style. She is amazing. Can't fault you. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on that page. You know, Margaret, it was a great rendition of a great song, to be honest. You know, every time I hear that song, especially when performed well, I always get a bit of a tingle in the spine, to be honest. You know, and considering the circumstance of a video performance, you really pulled off a real good vocal there. So well done to you. Polly Ann, I'm going to speak on as well. I guess, you know, you had a cool look. I just feel like your voice was just a little bit flat in places, so it could do with, just some tweaking in certain areas, just practice a lot more on your performance, and that could potentially affect a bit of personality coming across in your actual video performance there. And Kira as well, I felt like behind the music, you had a really good voice, I feel like, but the music was just a bit overpowering, to be honest. And I feel like with the type of song you were singing, you could potentially have got away with just doing that as a cappella, and it probably would have done you a bit more justice.
What actually just happened there, that I had to double take at the age of, well, Margaret, I have to say, I did double take. I thought she was in the wrong category. She has stood out in every round, but she absolutely came back fighting today. So I know we've already mentioned her quite a lot, but wow. So Pollyann, I have to say there's something about you, Pollyann, and I really think you did yourself a disservice, because you have got this natural, there seems to be this natural ability within you, but unfortunately at 11 years old, you're probably too young to wing it at the moment, so you just needed some more practice and prep. Reading the lyrics, and I really wish that had been a more polished performance, because there's something very raw about you that I love. Anissa, another original from you, and I really do think you upped your game from last time. Just something very confident and commanding about you, and that was definitely a stronger original. Kira, this is another girl that there's something about her. It's not my most favourite song, but she delivered it in such just in her own way. There's just something very, very natural about this girl, and I do think she's a little superstar in the making. So what a way to round off the pre-teens. Amazing.
I think the 12 and unders always amaze me. Even in the flesh, when you see them in front of us in theatres, it actually really hits you. And so they're doing so well to impress us on 9, because it's a different format. I think as all judges here, we've all learned through this competition ourselves how the delivery and how different things can make it just that aesthetically more pleasing visually and obviously to the ear. I felt Pollyann was a bit of a nervy performance for me. I think one that maybe have looked to have practice that a little bit more and really built your confidence up. I think you really didn't necessarily really hit us with your eye contact and make that as an engaging performance as you can. But you've done really well. And as I said, with all the feedback we give with everyone, if it was all absolutely perfect, there'd be nothing to work on, and Leon be sort of getting the pens out to sign you up. Anisha, I really loved her attitude. I think she was only one of 2, I believe, that played her own instrument, and she really commanded that, very confident, like the attitude, and really want to see her come on with her own songs and really punch through. I think we said in previous rounds, really punch through the hook, so it's really catchy. So what we want to do there is really hear a strong melody to grab us in and get us humming away in our heads at a later point. And apart from that, I think we've got to really tear up between us as judges. Who's going through? We're only picking 4. At best, we could pick them all through, but that's just not the way it's going to be. So we're going to deliberate now and come back with our choices at the end of the show.
Thank you, Chris. Now we shift gears to our 13 and over contestants, starting off with a singer who only started singing at the age of 12, started writing songs at the age of 15. This is April Lee.
When I wake up in the morning, you're the first thing on my mind. With your arms wrapped around me, I just need you by my side. The tension in the air, watch the flicker of a light. See a smile on my face, you make me feel so right. When I wake up in the morning, yeah, you're all I think about. For days I spend alone, thinking what do I do now? Then I saw you smile, and I swear it changed my life. You made me feel some kind of way, you made me feel so right. Somebody said through the stormy night, but this rain won't give us a
Our next performer wants to give a shout out to her parents, her secondary school music teacher, and her singing tutor, who've helped develop her voice into something more than she ever thought she was capable of. This is Christy.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and leave. It's time to try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. So if you can't find me, look to the western sky, as someone told me lately.
Our next performer says growing up with ASD, it was hard to make sense of a lot of things in his life, and music was something that always made sense to him. Please welcome Ben Bartlett.
Looking back on when I was a little nappy-headed boy, then my only worry was for Christmas what would be my toy. Even though we sometimes would not get a thing, we were happy with the joy that they would bring. Sneaking out the back door to hang out with those good friends of mine. Ooh. Greeted out the back door, we thought I told you not to go outside. Hey, try your best to bring the water to your eyes. Thinking it might stop us from whipping you behind. I wish those days could come back once more. I keep those days.
Our last performer in this set is Charlotte Soulsby.
Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me, tell me no lies, just hold me close, don't patronize, don't patronize me, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours.
Our first set of singers in the 13 and overs. Leon, what did you think?
Yeah, good start. I mean, I really want to just get straight into it. You know, April Lee, I really like. There's something about you that I liked. You know what you was doing. You reminded me of a clean bandit. You know, minus the additional member. There's something cool about what you're doing. Just a minimalist background. I just think you needed a stronger song. Maybe you just need to partner up with some other songwriters and find something that's a bit more hooky, especially if you're doing something with acoustic guitar. It just needs to be something that just captures the attention. So I'd just like to see a bit more development in that area from you. And I guess another one that stuck out for me was Ben Bartlett. I really like that song. I just would have liked to have seen you do a bit more of a performance, something with a bit more energy, not over the top, but just something that kind of captures the essence of, the vibe and, theme of the song as well. But I really was impressed also with your staging, very clean, and, you look like you've got something extra there.
So we've now got a age range of 13 to 19, and things dramatically change. in those 6 years in terms of experience and you know, vocal development. So yeah, we've got quite a cross section. However, when you look back at the preteens and you see that there were some 7 and 10-year-olds that were absolutely amazing, I think, you know, we're still judging everybody kind of on a level playing field. I thought that those first 4, again, you know, I keep saying this about song choices. We've had some really, really refreshing song choices. We're not hearing the same ones constantly, which is great. Just wanted to mention a bit about facial expressions, because I think within that group, we either had a lot of facial expressions or kind of just very, very subdued ones that maybe could have contributed more to the performance. And I think it's important that, you know, facial expressions aren't just kind of put there for the sake of it. Those facial expressions do come out naturally because of the emotion that you're feeling. So I would suggest that a couple of them do just look back at their video and just, you know, just critique themselves, because there's definitely some work needed there. I'm actually going to talk about Christy, because actually while we're on the subject of facial expressions, you know, she came across as a very kind of quite engaging, happy performer. However, I did feel that maybe those expressions were overshadowing or maybe trying to compensate for something vocally. So definitely keep working on that, Christy. And actually I'm going to mention Ben as well. Absolutely gorgeous voice. But if I'd closed my eyes and then opened them, I wouldn't have expected to kind of see him the way he was dressed, and kind of some of the facial expressions were definitely distracting me from that amazing soul voice. So yeah, look back at those videos and just see what you would do differently.
I think it's an overview, and I don't want to steal Carrie's thunder, but she makes a really good point that, you know, a really good way of explaining it, and I know she can do better than I can, is craft it with the gears. Yeah, you know, there was maybe too much of that in too much of the same gears, but I'll probably let her explain a little bit more about that. I think what's really important for me, especially with the older age category, is you need to really be as creative as you can. I think if it's not proved anything more this year than ever, how important to write your own songs is, because at the moment I don't expect too many performers are earning too much money unless they've really done a number online. But there's not many performers I know that are making a lot of money, especially at a local and people that have had perfectly good livings playing festivals and local events and stuff like that. It just isn't happening. So the songwriting is absolutely more important than ever, and I think in this age category you've got to push yourself to be firstly creative and playing around with the lyrics and words and writing your own songs, and then developing hopefully to the point where, you know, like Leon says, you're really driving through a hook and the potential of a hit song. So I think for this age category in particular, really try to focus on that. There's loads of articles on the website that help you to get started, even if it's just starting with the lyrics and not the melody. If you don't play yourself, getting with the lyrics is 50% of that songwriting process, and I just encourage you that, you know, unless you get on the bike, you are not going to be able to ride it. So really, really make sure you do, even in the younger age category as well. It's really important to do that, and, you know, highlighted more than ever with the climate that we're in at the moment. You can at least get some money if you get radio player and sync deals and things like that. And the longevity is in writing your own songs. In terms of working in individuals, you know, I liked the fact that April Lee tried to give it a live feel. You know, when you do introduce someone else in to play with, don't forget you are then the act. You need to sort of perform together. And the fact there was a lack of camaraderie between you, and I didn't feel it was an act as one. So that's a different art form in itself. And so when you do introduce someone else into that, you need to sort of bounce off each other, look at each other, engage, and perform as one. And I felt that part of it you could have just developed a little bit more, but totally got that you want to bring a live feel in, and for that I congratulate you on that. Christy, I have to say I wasn't mad on the song choice. You know, again, for all the reasons I've just said, this age category, I want to see, you know, something a bit creative, a bit different. I don't want to hear maybe I was nailed on from the original version. And I think we've been harping up on that so much in the competition. That's a little bit disappointing, because you have the ability, and I just want you to push you out of your comfort zone to be creative. And so those are the two acts I want to highlight, and as an overview.
This was a really interesting group, actually. The word I would say for this group is we needed more authenticity. I was struggling to work out who you are with most people that I was watching in this group. So it's like, okay, I've seen this before, and I know there's so much more in you. So you can't do what somebody else is already doing out there. You've got to come as yourself. You have to be daring enough to bring all that you are. I want to point out Charlotte, for me, because this was actually one of my favourite songs of all time anyway, you happen to choose to sing. Sung really beautifully, actually, sung with really real thoughtfulness, I should say. Facially, performance-wise, kind of wasn't connected to the beauty of the voice. This song is someone who's just saying, I can't make you love me if you don't love me. That's a big theme. So we need to see that anguish. And every performer, this is a note for everybody, don't be afraid to do ugly. Ugly really works. Ugly works because it brings out that authenticity where we go, oh my gosh, they look like their life depends on this, they're anguished. And if we see that, not only will we see it, but actually we'll hear it even more in the voice. The voice will also sound different when you start to really connect to the lyric.
We have just one set of singers left in this semi-final. And continuing on, we have twin brothers Harvey and Benjamin, otherwise known as Me and You, performing an acoustic cover of the classic Queen song, Somebody to Love.
Somebody to
Our next performer started singing at the age of 4 and is a huge fan of Billie Eilish. This is Evie.
If you fall, then I will catch you. There ain't nothing that I wouldn't do. I'd do anything for you. 'Cause you healed me, you made me better. Brick by brick, you built me from the ground. Now we're never coming down. Even if the world stopped turning, you'd be in my heart still burning. Keeping it beating, and as long as I'm breathing at night.
Our next performer's mom encouraged her interest in music at a young age and developed this beautiful talent that she didn't know that she had. This is Gaia.
I guess it's hard to get from where you're standing. 'Cause from over here I missed the joke. Cleared the way from my crash landing. I've done it again. Another number for your notes. I'd be smiling if I wasn't so desperate. I'd be patient if I had the time. I could stop and answer all of your questions.
Our next singer's original song was written after a breakup, and it's titled Vision. This is Emily Haywood.
What do you see when you look in my blue eyes? Do you see me looking back in yours and wet through your disguise? And I see the guy who left and drowned
final performer tonight wrote this song for her dad, who was diagnosed with cancer last year. He's a fighter, and this song is dedicated to him. Please welcome Andrea Victoria.
Dear Mr. C, why have you crept up, stealing his life away? Enough is enough. You're trying to mess him up, make him look rough. Well, guess what, cancer? My dad is tough. It's a long road that he's gonna make it. It's a scary toll, but we're gonna take it. 'Cause my dad's stronger, stronger than you'll believe. He's not gonna sit back, you'll see. He won't stop fighting, 'cause he's got the strength to fight.
And that concludes our first semi-final. Let's see what the judges have to say about those last 5 performances, starting with Julie.
So another very varied collection of performers and singers and song choices and ages. We've got the oldest one there at 19. I'm going to start with me and Uke because they seem to, they've always created a little bit of a reaction from us. And I just want to start by saying I thought that was the strongest that I'd heard you vocally. Definitely a lot of effort put in with those vocals. Image-wise, you really pulled that together as well. I do feel that the start was so strong that I think it probably just overpromised just too much. So when the other song came in with the ukulele, it was a little bit it came left field and it was a little bit too much. I think probably if you're going to make the act work with a ukulele, that the start probably just didn't work. However, I am going to, I've said this before in terms of acts with ukuleles, they are very, very one-dimensional, and I'm actually seeing such promise in you two lads now. I'm wondering whether maybe it's time to drop the uke, or at least drop it for a good proportion of your act. I don't know what you're going to do with your name, but that's just how I feel personally. But really good effort in terms of everything else. One other person I'm going to mention is Gaia. Something very, very cool about this girl. And actually, for the most part, the delivery of that very, very well-known song was actually really convincing and compelling. But I actually do think that you're just way too cool to churn out a cover that has been so frequently heard. So I would love, Gaia, to see you just bring us some originality. Everything about you speaks originality. So really, really work on those song choices. So yeah.
Yes, here we go. It's getting to judgment time with these guys. Completely agree with Julie actually with the the ukulele can become a bit thin, and sometimes can't give that dynamics. But definitely you saved your best performance for the semi-final. So well done, guys. It's always fun, and you've upped the bar each time. So you've done everything you can and listened to the feedback. So well done with that. We're going to focus on Andrea. We've seen Andrea a lot in the competition. Very difficult to sing about something that's so emotional. It's very difficult also for us to comment on as well. But with all songs, it's really important that whatever the song is, that you don't come away from the disciplines of a song, and that's always having a really catchy hook and something we can all relate to. Obviously, that's very, very poignant to you guys, but really getting us to connect with that song is really key, and never forgetting the hook as well in the song. So well done for obviously putting that out, and we do wish your best to your father. But just those disciplines as far as the song's concerned. And again with Gaia, I felt it is a song we've heard an awful lot. I mean, I think in one competition, I think we counted 4 in one show once. So be very careful picking such a popular song. You've got a lot of ability. You did connect to the song emotionally. Just watched it where that positioning of the mic is as well. But yeah, there is lots of ability there as well. So I think there's more to give there. I do really think that. And yeah, I guess that's the main focuses for me, I think.
You know, I just mentioned in the last group about not being afraid to do ugly, and how we see anguish when someone sings is really interesting, reading their performance. And a good performer will always take you right up to the fence with the emotions. You can't go over the fence, because over the fence, we feel like, oh my gosh, they're breaking down, and we can't have that. But we need to go right up to it, butt up against it. And so I really feel with the last 3 performers in that category, that's Gaia, Emily and Andrea, you all were really trying to work out where is that boundary. And I think for Andrea, it was just because it's the subject that it was, it kind of went over there for me. Also, just watch both Andrea and Evie. When you put your hand on your tummy, you tell me that you've run out of breath. So just watch that just go back and look at how often you put your hands on your tummy. But for Gaia and for Emily, I want to point out these two because they did ugly really well. Both very beautiful women, but doing ugly really well, showing us anguish, not being afraid to show emotion in a way that doesn't look beautiful. So in Emily's case, you showed us anger as well, which was lovely. Gaia, I would have liked you to have just turned your eyes to camera every now and again. It's lovely watching, you're so beautiful and it's all dreamy and lovely, but every now and again, particularly when you're doing anguish, we need you straight down the barrel. We need to see that. And that is exactly where Emily really hit the nail on the head. And in fact, the words did as well, because she said, look into my blue eyes, what do you see? And I was like, whoa, I'm questioning that. You've given the authority for me to question that. And so it was beautiful to watch loads of anguish, loads of anger, lots of storytelling, really 2 great performances there.
Yeah, again, you know, another interesting segment of performances. I mean, I'm agreeing with a lot of what everyone's saying, and I guess the important part for me is just I would love to see at this stage as well just much more originality, not just in terms of the songs that you're performing, whether they're your own, you know, compositions or covers, but also in terms of how you're presenting yourselves. You know, I guess there's this kind of, I don't know, this benchmark that a lot of singers tend to go for in terms of their performances, and it can get a bit samey, and you have to think about where you're trying to get to in your life or your career. Is this actually a career for you, or is this just a little hobby that you're doing? And you need to start figuring out actually which path you're going to be taking, and let that be conveyed in the performance, the music that you're performing. Think about the song choices as well. Is this a gimmick, or actually is this something to be taken seriously? And then I guess if I just go through briefly, you know, Ben and Harvey, you know, I've seen vast improvements from you guys over the shows that I've been watching, and this one was definitely like, you know, one of the highlights of what you've done so far. It started out really well, you know, your image was in sync, but again, like Julie said, you set the bar so high, and then when the song came in, it just fell flat, in my honest opinion, to be honest. And I definitely think you should think about just ditching the ukulele and focusing on something that's going to be unique and distinctive and complement what you guys, you know, seem to have that you can give to the audience. Evie, again, just in a similar vein, you know, you need to be thinking about what is the why. Why are we buying into you? Like, think about your audience. Who are you? What's the, you know, the driving force behind what you're doing? Because whilst you got a great voice, I didn't really feel there was anything to kind of separate you from the noise of what is today's life. You know, there's millions of songs being released every day online. You just got to find actually your pocket of the industry and find a way that you're going to communicate to your fan base and have exponential growth. Gaia, again, great artist, great look, but something a bit more distinctive from you would have been much more, you know, palatable, for my opinion. And again, just for the last 2 artists, again, you know, Andrea, really competent singer. I can see obviously it was a touchy subject matter, you know, very clean cut, but again, I just feel like, how can I put this? When you're singing these type of songs, again, just convey the emotion in a much more, you know, effective manner. But great job from everyone overall, and, you know, just give yourselves a pat on the back.
Thank you. Judges, That is semi-final number 1. It's now time for the judges to choose which 4 12 and unders and which 2 13 and overs will be moving on to the TeenStar final. And remember, you can still vote for your favorite acts if they are not chosen by the judges. While the judges deliberate, we have a guest performer. Well, it's time for the results, starting with the 12 and unders. Julie, who is your pick?
As always, so tough, but I believe that this girl will play at the Albert Hall at some point. The angel with the harp, Neve.
Yeah, as always, it's always a very difficult choice, but I believe this performer has consistently shown, positive growth, and has amazing voice and definitely a bright future ahead. So my vote's going to go to Rosie Hollis.
Well, I think at this stage we can't be marking on effort, and we're not. We've got to mark on who's the star and who's going to have a chance of making it in our industry. And I am very pleased to say Margaret.
Well, these, 12 and unders did fantastic. They get to go again because obviously this is the only semi-final with the 12 and unders in it. So they really need to up their game from next level. They start again, it's a level playing field, but the last one going through from the judges is Anisha.
We have just 2 spots for the 13 and overs to move on to the finals. That first spot goes to
Gaia.
Congratulations, Gaia. And Leon, who gets the last spot?
Oh, this is a tricky one. Got to keep everyone on their toes. It's going to be Charlotte Soulsby. Well done.
Congratulations to those 6 performers moving on to the finals of TeenStar. We have one semi-final left to see who is going to join them, but remember, you can still vote for your favorites. Stay tuned for the next round of the semi-finals of TeenStar.
Location: Planet Earth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. TeenStar, online and international.
Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the semi-finals for TeenStar. We have 18 singers fighting for 4 spots in the final. Our judges are the same. The talent is as amazing as ever. Let's get started with our first contestant. She's singing an original song about how everyone deserves to be happy and accepted. It's dedicated to all the people who disrespect themselves for no reason. Please welcome our first contestant, Lenny Starr.
You make me so sad when you're standing there hopeless, when you're feeling so worthless, but you know this ain't true. Listen, there's just only way out of this. If we step together, love can heal our pain. Well, tomorrow you will see, tomorrow will bring us joy, 'cause tomorrow's a new day. So let me say, dear you, there's a message that has to be heard by you and your loved ones that can't wait to be with you, dear you.
Our next performer says her dad has been her biggest influence when it comes to music, raising her on classics like the Beatles. This is Mia Labrojo.
Love hurts, love scars, love wounds, hand marks, and the heart. Not tough or strong enough to take a lot of pain, take a lot of pain. Love is like a cloud, holds a lot of rain. Love hurts. Ooh, love hurts. Some fools think of happiness, blissfulness, togetherness. Some fools fool themselves, I guess, but they're not fooling me. I know it isn't true.
Megan started singing at 14 years old, and she is performing Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. Please welcome Megan Swanepoel.
I heard the words a secret chord. David played me, please the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah.
Our next performer has been busking and performing at open mics and festivals in her hometown since she was 10 years old. Please welcome Maggie. Next up, we have a singer who loves Adele, Birdie, and the script, and who wants to open for Ed Sheeran someday. This is Rosie Kate.
I look from the ground to see your sad and teary eyes. You look away from me. I feel there's something you're trying to hide, and I reach for your hand, but it's cold. You pull away again, and I wonder what's on your mind. Then you say to me, you made a dumb mistake. You start to tremble and your voice begins to break. You say the cigarettes on the counter aren't your friends, they were my mates. And I feel the color draining from my face. And my friend said, I know you love him, but it's over, mate. It doesn't matter, put the phone away. It's never easy to walk away, let him go. You'll be okay. So I look back at all the messages you'd sent, and I know it wasn't right, but it was messing with my head. And everything deleted like the past year was gone. And when I touched your face, I could tell you're moving on.
Our last performer of the set is a huge Queen fan and first got into music when he heard Bohemian Rhapsody on the radio. He's even got a copy of the red special guitar. This is Alfie Thomas.
Sun breaks through in the morning rain. Everyone in this world knows my name. No one knows just where I've been. No one knows just what I've seen. Tears are falling from my eyes. You don't hear my pleas, don't hear my cries. Down falls the sun, or comes the moon. Night time comes around too soon. Who knows when now? Who knows where? No one in this world will care. I think it's time now for a change. I know that for me this is strange. Don't you say a single word, guaranteed I've already heard that I thought forgiveness the night away. You just can't live, so you must stay. Oh. Woo!
Our first 6 acts of our second semi-final. Chris, what did you think of those acts?
Loved it. Loved that group. I thought that smashed it out of the park, to be honest, just for entertainment avenue. It just had everything. I like the fact that Lenny Starr showed us so much more than she had before. You know, it started tentative. I thought, oh, what's she going to do? But she showed she was competent with the guitar. She gave us a good original. So well done, Lenny. That was a cracking start for us. Mia took a little bit of a while to get going. I think we need to just sort of punch it out early. I didn't necessarily think it was best, but we've seen a lot from you in the competition, so I know you can do better if you squeeze through tonight. Megan, for me, the song choice is way too popular. So again, in this section, I'm going to definitely favour the ones that come out of original. You know, you're better to probably dramatically fail by doing something completely different than playing it safe. I think that it's all about being creative and different. I think I've heard it so many times, it just provided nothing different for me. Unless you were going to absolutely smash out the park, you didn't get my interest, I'm afraid. Rosie, loved it, really engaged, really enjoyed the performance. And Alfie, for me, through the whole competition, has just given 100% his commitment. You can see he's really thought about it. The only thing I can be absolutely picky about is, 30 seconds for any lyrics. So it's a long old intro, but hugely enjoyable start. Well done, everybody there.
So I think at this stage we've got to be looking at people that we think I want to buy their records or I want to watch them on stage. You're in your teens now, so this is the age that's really important in terms of artist development. I have to pick out Alfie. Alfie, if I had a record company, I would sign you. I think you are an absolute star. I think that I immediately can think of decades of people that have needed an artist like you. So we had Mark Armand from Soft Cell, we've got Mika, we've got Scissor Sisters, that kind of performer. Every generation has a performer like you. And I'm thinking, who have we got in this generation that is like this? I think you are it. I think you have something very, very special. I don't know if you've got someone helping you out with all your backgrounds and working through stuff with you, but even if they are, that's great. But if you were doing that on your own, I'm even more super, super impressed. You are the real deal.
Yeah, really good start, strong. Again, just touching on what everyone else has said, you know, Alfie Thomas, really a real showman, to be honest. You know, I just think you just need songs, you know, just getting some sessions, try and find some writers or producers to get in with and actually define a bit more of a distinctive sound, because you've already got the confidence and charisma needed, you know, to succeed in a commercial market, basically. I just think you need some stronger songs. Lenny Starr, again, you know, really backed you throughout the competition, to be honest. You know, again, another good performer, great thought about your staging and profile, and actually really happy that, you know, you've come to this performance now with an original song. Again, as Chris touched on, you know, competent with the guitar as well. I just think a bit more development in that lane in terms of your composition, structures and arrangement, you know, go a long way for you. And again, I guess I'll just touch on as well, like Maggie, I got what you was doing, you know, I got the thinking behind the pan out and the candles and that whole image. I'm just not too sure if it really worked on this occasion. It came across as a bit distracting, almost a little bit cluttered, and it kind of distracted my attention from the music. So I think just work on balancing that out a bit better in future. But otherwise, you know, well done from everybody else.
So a pretty good start, I think we all agree. I think probably 5 out of the 6, I would say, had some diction issues. I was struggling to hear lyrics, so that definitely needs addressing. I think there were a couple as well where the song choice either just wasn't right, or it was on the low side. So we were really losing that opportunity to hear vocal tone or storytelling or emphasis on the story. That being said, I actually do think we've probably got 2 or possibly 3 superstars out of that 6. Lenny, I have to mention, because I have kind of championed her all the way through, and I actually didn't realise she was only 15. So, and I really think with that original song, I'm so pleased she brought us an original. I feel like we heard a different element to her voice. I feel like we heard something far more authentic. And you know, and delivery as well. There was definite intent in her delivery. I would say one thing, I think sometimes just a little of that kind of fun and showmanship maybe creeps in at the wrong time, because she just looks like a girl that wants to have fun and kind of, you know, be happy around people. So I think just really be careful of that, Lenny. And then actually I'm going to mention Maggie as well, because I do feel that we maybe lost a level from her simply because I think the balance of the keyboard and then all of the, you know, the backing track coming in, we lost her to a degree. But a very, very strong start, and I predict 2 or 3 superstars.
We continue on with Ruby, who is singing an original song and started writing her own music at the age of 9.
People see me think I'm doing fine, but they don't see these hidden bullets in my spine. There's never a day we don't fly, when it's time to be happy, but it's a lie. All I can say is that you made me this way. Now I'm tough from the edges, gave up on leaving, clearly I was not okay.
Our next performer is singing an original song titled Tripping. Here is Saffron.
Just know there are people who love you. Don't forget, before you go and ruin your night with your so-called friends. I know you may think that you have got it under control, that it won't happen to a girl like you. Well, baby, you were wrong, 'cause you'll be tripping in your thoughts. Yeah, tripping, acting up, nobody to rescue you. Out of London's clubs, you'll be tripping in your thoughts. Yeah, tripping, acting up, nobody's giving you some love. Even though you may wish that you're not here, but you just made the world disappear. Oh, these decisions are difficult to stop. You do.
Shane started singing at the age of 5, and tonight he's performing Dance with My Father. Please welcome Shane Brierly.
Back when I was a child, before life removed all the innocence, my father would lift me high and dance with my mother and me, and then spin me around till I fell asleep. And then up the stairs he would carry me, and I knew for sure I was loved. If I could get another chance, another walk, another dance with him, I'll play a song that would never ever end. How I love, love, love.
Our next performer loves Harry Styles and is singing one of his songs. This is Falling by Maya.
And you're not here, and there's no one to blame but the drink in my wandering hand. Forget what I said, it's not what I meant, and I can't take it back. I can unpack the baggage you left. What am I now? What am I now? What if I'm someone I don't want around? I'm falling again, I'm falling again, I'm falling. What if I'm down? What if I'm out? What if I'm someone you won't talk about? I'm falling again, I'm falling again, I'm falling.
Dash discovered his love of music at the age of 6 after joining a local pantomime group called the Winton Players. Please welcome Dash Buckley.
It was written that I would love you from the moment I opened my eyes, and the morning of love protect us gave me life under calico skies. I will hold you for as long as you like. I love you for the rest of my life. Long before all us crazy soldiers who were born under calico skies, may we never be called to handle all the weapons of war we despise. I will hold you for as long as you like. I love you.
The last singer of this set is singing an original song called Torn Inside, which is about being frustrated by social conventions and constraints. This is Iona.
Locked up here so long, lost count of the years that have gone. All malicious and indifferent, feels as though I'm insignificant. I wish for things to change, stop the battle in my brain, forcing us to follow all that we're told. I'll never be controlled. You hold me under so much scrutiny, and delight in the thought of ruining me.
Some very strong performances in that second set of singers. Well, let's find out what the judges think, starting with Carrie.
Wow, that was a really good group, wasn't it? I think often when I'm judging, I have to remind myself we're not picking someone to be on a good TV show. We're picking someone whose records we want to buy or who's going to be a star of a West End show. We're not asking, is this person going to be my best mate? We're asking, are they going to sell records? And I think there were two people in that group that really stuck out for me. One was Saffron with your song Trippin'. I think that was a great song, really good song, really catchy, really does ugly well, fantastic angst in your face. You are an artist. I wrote right next to your name, artist. And then Dash Buckley, and this is why I mentioned telly, because some people go, what's he about? I tell you what he's about music. You could see him playing at festivals. You've got that kind of retro psychedelic 1960s Donovan thing going on. I think you are a great musician. I can really hear your musicianship in the way that you're really fantastic.
Yeah, definitely a really good group, really good segment this was, and I have to agree with Carrie, you know, especially on both of those acts, Saffron and Dash, really impressed. Again, great songs, great performance, great musicality, to be honest, and I guess that's what the root of it all is about. I'll touch on a few other acts as well. Ruby, I felt like it was a little messy musically. There was quite a lot that seemed to be going on, and I'm not sure if you had somebody playing the keys live in the background, but you know, a bit more subtlety when playing in future is probably going to be very helpful for you, because it sounded like the keys were just being bashed, and you could probably have done without that. It would have probably added something extra to your performance. And Shane, yeah, you were a competent singer. I can't really fault you. You had definitely a good tone in your voice, but I just struggled to find anything distinctive to separate you from everything else that's out there. And I guess just my overall, you know, message to the performers of this group, but also just overall is, you know, just remember that you need to capture the attention of your viewers or your audience within literally the first few seconds, because there were a couple of videos that I've seen where actually my attention was lost after a couple of seconds, to be honest, and it wasn't until further in the song that I kind of looked back and thought, okay, yeah, something interesting. But you may not be lucky with, you know, people in the future, so just always remember to put your best foot forward.
Yes, that group definitely, in fact, this whole show has taken it to another level, I think. I have to mention Saffron as well, because if I'm completely honest, I don't remember her from previous rounds, but she just popped out in this one. It was absolutely brilliant. Heaps of originality, and I just thought it was such an honest performance. Really, really loved that. Another one that I actually do remember from each round is Maya, and there's definitely something about Maya. I think the song choice was good. I just wish that she'd got the key put up, because her vocal range could have definitely coped with it. I think the delivery was there. I wish the microphone that wasn't plugged in just wasn't there, and she just delivered it, without that. And then I did briefly mention Iona last time, because I just adore that effortless, less is more vocal tone that she's got, that whole demeanour. It just puts it puts you at ease, or it certainly put me at ease. So I thought we had some really, really interesting artists out of the 6. Really good.
I mean, the standard is really high, you know, and you know, rightly so. They've all earned their place in the semi-final, and credit due to all of them. I think that you know, obviously Julie missed the fact that I put Saffron through last time. Saffron absolutely nailed it. Love the fact that she played such a cool song. In fact, if I'm going to be critical, it's almost like I wanted her to play the guitar though. I felt it was a bit odd not to play the guitar, but she did really perform it well, so I can't be too critical because I think she smashed it as well. I think what's a really good point here is one for Shane, and it really contrasts the fact that he came after Saffron, and it's almost like I was thinking, God, there's such a contrast here. It's comparing a performer versus an artist. It's a bit like the same as, you know, for those that know sport, probably more for guys than girls, it's like someone playing 20-20 cricket and playing Test cricket. It's someone playing 5-a-side football and playing international Premiership football. You can't really compare the two. So Shane, if there's anything to be noted, you've got a brilliant voice. Is the covers, if you know, it'd be brilliant if you want to roll on there, you want to entertain people on stage when we get back out on stage, great, but it's not going to make you an artist unless you get songwriter that absolutely believes you. But I don't think you can't wait for that. You've got to take destiny in your own hands and start writing, Shane. I think at this age now, you know, you're demonstrating enough, and I just feel that you're getting left behind. And Saffron is hopefully your catalyst for showing you the benchmark of where you need to be. And then controversially, Carrie really likes Dash. Yeah, I felt, and I wrote, it's like he missed the memo or something. He's like, I can't see him playing. He looks like he's too close to me, and all we've been batting on about the whole competition is getting your framing right, seeing what we can see you playing, not too close so we feel a bit intimidated, not too far away so we feel disengaged. I kind of get his style, but I kind of feel there's something missing as well, so I didn't quite concur, unfortunately.
Thank you, judges. A lot of varied feedback in that set of singers. Only 4 of them will move on. I think it's going to be a tough discussion between our 4 judges. We have just 6 singers left in this second semi-final. Next up, we have a singer who fell in love with music through her musical family. This is Elise Davies.
Feeling nervous, aren't you, boy? With your quiet voice and your impeccable style. Don't ever let them steal your joy or your gentle ways to keep them from running wild. They can kick dirt in your face, dress you down and tell you that your place is in the middle when they hate the way you shine. I see you tugging on your shirt, trying to hide inside of it and hide how much it hurts. Let them laugh while they can. Let them spit. Let them scatter in the wind.
Singing Yesterday by the Beatles, here is Juliet.
I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Why he had to go, I don't know. He wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday.
Emma started writing at the age of 12 and says that she has found music to be a great outlet for herself and her expression. Please welcome Emma Middleton Norris.
I'm not sad anymore. Instead, I just feel numb. And numb I know is somehow worse, but I guess that's just how this goes. Strip me of my pride, that's for the best. You took my warmth that night and left a hole in my chest. I didn't know I needed you this much until you left. But now I'm crying on my own and this feeling ain't the best. Tell me once you don't love me anymore. Tell me twice and I just get sore.
Libby was motivated to pursue music by her Year 5 teacher, Mr. Crossley, who encouraged her to sing and believe in herself. Please welcome Livy.
I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my childish fears. And if you have to leave, I wish that you would just leave, 'cause your presence still lingers here, and it won't leave me alone. These wounds don't seem to heal. This pain is just too real. There's just too much that time cannot erase. When you cried, I'd wipe away all of your tears. When you scream, I'd fight away all of your fears. And I held your hand through all of these years, just still held.
Our next performer is singing the Maroon 5 song Maps. This is Laura Davidson.
I miss the taste of a sweeter life. I miss the conversations. I'm searching for a song tonight. I'm changing all of the stations. I like to think that we had it all. We drew a map to a better place, but on my roads I took a fall. Oh baby, why did you run away? I was there for you in your darkest times. I was there for you in your darkest night. But I wonder where we are when I was at most down on my knees. And you said you had my back, so I wonder where we are when all the roads you took came back to me. So I'm following the map that leads to you, the map that leads to you. Ain't nothing I can do, the map that leads to you, the map that leads to you.
Our final performer started singing at the age of 4, and tonight she's performing How Could an Angel Break My Heart by Tony Braxton and Kenny G. This is Rasheen Murphy.
I heard his skin was white as rain, soft as a rose that blooms in May. He keeps her picture in a frame, and when he sleeps he calls her name. I wonder if she makes him smile the way he used to smile at me. I hope she doesn't make him laugh, because his life belongs to me. How could an angel break my heart? Why didn't he catch my falling star?
And that concludes the semifinals of TeenStar. Leon, what did you think of those performances?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of, how can I put this, creative thinking in terms of, you know, the visuals, in terms of video capturing, a lot of like retro, vintage type of styling going on. I really liked it. I'll probably start with Livy, you know, I really liked, you know, it had a good visual, vintage, black and white kind of feel as well. And I feel that with Juliet as well, I thought that was a really strong video. I would like to see more of that, potentially with slightly stronger songs, something that's just a bit more impactful. Remind me, there's like a group from the past, you know, check them out, Shakespeare Sister. That video just reminded me of that type of style that they had as well. So definitely good to see everyone thinking a bit more creatively. It's not just about the vocal, but also about your visual presentation. So yeah, great job.
So I keep forgetting that this is TeenStar. This feels a little bit more like open mic. I don't know whether Chris agrees with that, that they just seem to be so much more mature than what we've seen in other TeenStar shows when we're live and in theatres. I think there were some nice performances here, but nothing that really, really excited me, if I'm completely honest. And I think what Leon's saying about we started seeing some creativity or people kind of starting to think about the performance or the way they were going to put it together. But I actually think we saw some complete changes in direction and personality, which has left me a little bit baffled. I'm going to pick up on Emma actually. I remember, you know, the feedback that we've been giving throughout all of the shows, and I have to say, this was the best vocal that we've heard from Emma. It's like she's, you know, I don't know whether she's been working with a vocal coach, definitely the best vocal. But she seems to have completely changed her identity. And I think maybe this would be a good point. You know, if this was the first show after the auditions, this would be a great time to kind of find yourself. But I think maybe in some cases it's just a little bit too late for this show. But completely agree with Leon. You know, we are still working with very, very young, you know, evolving artists. So absolutely, you must keep experimenting, but just make sure it's not kind of, you know, it's not too little, too late, or actually just too much all of a sudden. But yeah, here we go to the finals. Somebody is going to win TeenStar UK 2020.
Yeah, I think that's a good point Julie makes, which is not a bad thing actually, that there's a lot of them that doing originals and trying to find themselves. I don't think that's a bad point at all. I think in previous years we've seen, you know, whether it's a London and it's constantly Amy Winehouse or, you know, Emily Sandé, whoever's popular for the year is, you know, it's Billie Eilish last year, you know, just over and over again. So it's really cool that people are trying to find themselves. I'm going to, you know, go there with Emma. I think that was definitely the best performance she'd done vocally, but you know, maybe she took on board too much of the criticism, you know, that her guitar was slightly out of tune. You know, she's starting to write songs, stick with that. You know, that wasn't necessarily the answer. The answer would have been maybe to practice and make sure she was just even better with the guitar. But having said that, taking the guitar away made it maybe less pressure on her vocally, and that's what gave us a best vocal performance. But, you know, you need to, you know, keep it integral to what you want to do, and it's your own song. So keep believing in what you want to go for, Emma. Don't lose that. But it was a step up for you, but maybe not necessarily in the right direction. I don't know. Laurie, you know, you should have played that video to a few people. It was very pitchy in places. I mean, you have a number of times to do it. Really practice it. You know, I would have personally listened to the feedback in previous shows and really get everything on point. There's £5,000 to win here. There's illustrious people that have won this competition in previous years. I want to give myself a chance, and you know, surely if you've played that for a few people that have got an ear, they would have said, look, actually, you know, we've heard better, and unfortunately I felt you let yourself down there. And obviously we are judging it on what we see today. Obviously, you know, if everyone gets through, it's a clean slate for the grand final, but you know, make every effort. You know, you're putting yourself in front of some, you know, really good judges here. But for me in that group, I'm saying her name right, Elise, I found it a really captivating performance. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but it felt effortless, it felt very believable, and I really loved that. And for me in that group, that really stood out for me amongst it.
Yeah, dare we go on about backgrounds anymore? My gosh, as judges, have we not talked non-stop about them? But Swag and Tails is not going to be selling it in for us, I'm afraid, Laura. And also just singing in a completely different key to the backing track. I think that Chris has pointed that out already, but just listen back. Your ears will tell you, you've got a good singer. Your ears will tell you you're singing in a totally different key to the backing track. Elise, now I agree with Chris on this. Elise, you are really polished and very professional. I think the issue that you're going to have as a kind of torch singer is that you can't be Adele. So if you can't be Adele and you look like Adele and you've got that kind of weight of voice of Adele, you've got to find material that takes you in a different direction and an image that takes you in a different direction. Otherwise, the comparisons are always going to be there. You're probably going to hate me for saying that, but better that I say it than you hear it further down the line. For me, I felt like you had listened to us and gone, right, I'm going to have, or someone, you or someone around you said, let's do a really good set. You've got a great set, all the guitars on the wall and your name there, and it all looks really cool, and you look really music biz, and it's massive. And you are the most intimate, kind of anguished teen singer. You have so much that it's in the smallness, it's in the personal touch that you have with the way you sing and the lyrics. You know, I'm not sad anymore. It's like, yeah, and it's like, I'm numb. Okay, this is teen stuff. What we don't want is a big snazzy stage. What we need is something really small, really intimate that then really sells that song. And you as an artist, for me, the song and you as an artist really match. And I've really loved you in previous rounds. Livy, the camera loves you, clearly. The camera absolutely loves you. Love the way you filmed that. Isn't it interesting? Someone just comes along, black background, no effort, just, well, it is effort, but it looks effortless, doesn't it? Just a black background, and you really knocked it out of the park. Really gave a great performance. And I love the whole look of it. Well done.
It is now time for the judges to deliberate and choose just 4 singers to move on to the final round of TeenStar. And in the meantime, we have a guest performance.
Hi guys, congratulations for getting so far in the competition. To get to the semi-finals is absolutely amazing, and I've watched a lot of the auditions and a lot of the performances, and you guys are all so good. But I know a lot of you guys, it's your first time actually being in competition, so to get to the semi-final is really good. So congratulations to all you guys. It's now up to the judges to decide. But before the judges give their decisions, Chris has asked me to do a little cover for you guys. So this is my version of Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles. It was actually recorded at Julie's studio because she's my amazing vocal coach who I met through doing open mic and TeenStar. So we put together this little acoustic version of this Harry Styles song. So this is Watermelon Sugar, and I hope you guys like it, and good luck everybody and stay safe.
Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want more berries and that summer feeling. It's so wonderful and warm. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if I could ever go without. Watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. Strawberries on a summer evening, baby, you're the end of June. I want your belly and that summer feeling, getting washed away. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever do without. Watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. No, I just wanna taste it, I just wanna taste it. Watermelon sugar high.
The judges have made their decisions. 4 singers are moving on. Leon, who is taking that first spot?
Well, for me, it was a no-brainer. You know, definitely a talented artist, great songwriting ability. I definitely see a lot of potential further down the line. My vote's going to go to Saffron Rococo.
So I can't stress how seriously we've all taken this. This is for a spot at the final. But this is somebody that I have I've had a soft spot for all the way through. I've championed her, and it's Lenny Starr.
Well, it's been hugely debated, this, you know, but this particular person has been pretty much a front runner all the way through. But can he do it at the grand final? Can the others bring something else we haven't seen? Well, going through just performance-wise, Alfie.
And I'm flashbacking to 1960s psychedelia, choosing Dash Buckley.
So there you have it. Those 4 singers are moving on to the grand final of TeenStar UK, but you can still vote for your favorites to join them. We'll see you next time at the grand final.